Okay, good afternoon, and we shall be back with Aga Shahid Ali's poem. And today's topic will be another poem by Aga Shahid Ali, The Wolf's Postscript to Little Red Riding Hood. Another very significant poem, another very important poem that we must say, uh, written by Aga Shahid Ali, the Kashmiri American poet. Uh, this particular poem, The Wolf's Postscript to Little Red Riding Hood, was actually published in the collection A Walk Through the Yellow Pages. Now, the poem has a different sort of flavor. The poem has a totally new pattern of projecting something that is not generally done. So, this new pattern, this new way of presenting history, I would like to be very specific in this regard. The way Aga Shahid Ali has attempted to read history in a different way, that will be the interesting factor of reading a poem like this, The Wolf's Postscript to Little Red Riding Hood. Now, before I go to the poem, I think this poem has a very brief introduction. This one is the popular myth, popular legend of Little Red Riding Hood. It talks a kind of a story of a little girl who used to wear a cloak red in color with a hood, and she used to ride on a particular horse. So whenever she moves in that village wearing a red cloak, so she became unanimous. She became, immediately identified by everyone as the Little Red Riding Hood. Now, this Little Red Riding Hood, as the popular legend of that Western culture, we find that she was on her way to meet her grandmother, and the grandmother used to live in a cottage in a forest. Now, on her way to the path, reaching the grandmother's cottage, then we know that the young little girl, she met a wolf. Now, the wolf was there to uh, make a kind of a hindrance. The wolf was there to, uh, prevent her immediately. But the girl was in hurry, and as the young little girl was in hurry, uh, then we know that the fox, that hungry wolf, it took a different turn. It took a different turn and then again prevented the path. But by this time, the young little girl was very adamant, and she was all in a hurry to reach the cottage of her grandmother. But the wolf did something else. She was, by this time, before reaching the girl to the grandmother's cottage, the wolf was already in the grandmother's cottage, and uh, the wolf gobbled up the grandmother. Now, gobbling up the grandmother, the wolf took a disguise, wearing the dress of the grandmother, lying on her bed and waiting for the little girl to turn up there. In course of time, the girl appeared, knocked on the door, but as time passed on, she could guess that this is not that exact grandmother that she has come to meet her. Rather, this is the wolf, a hungry wolf in disguise of her grandmother. So the little girl started shouting. As the little girl started shouting for her own safety, then those who are the local farmers, uh, uh, people of the neighbors, uh, they rushed in. They caught the hungry wolf in disguise, and they killed the hungry wolf. And the gobbled grandmother, who was inside the hungry wolf, belly of the hungry wolf, she came out. She was a bit senseless, but ultimately she was alive once again. She got her life back. But those angry people, they, uh, you know, not only killed the wolf, rather took the belly of the wolf, bifurcated, and stuffing inside with garbage, with stones, with pebbles, and all kind of thing. So this is how the myth, the legend, the popular folk tale that was in practice of the Little Red Riding Hood. Now, what Aga Shahid Ali is doing, he is retelling the story. And in the format of this verse, he is actually rewriting that same narrative, but the approach is different. Here, the poem is, it has been, written here from the perspective of the wolf, because wolf is so long in generations, it has been identified as something very villainous, a criminal who has done a very serious crime of gobbling up the grandmother and making such kind of nuisance and creating such sort of problem. So the wolf has been identified by the society so long as someone who is actually a sort of, a negative aspect of the society. Now, here is that novelty on the part of Aga Shahid Ali, that he has attempted of rereading that same story, folk tale, in a different fashion. And this poem is written from the perspective of the wolf, that you know the story from the common perspective, on the perspective of the little girl, what exactly happened as it is told. But it may have a different version as well. So long we never had the option, the opportunity to read the poem from the another version as well, because we know that such kind of attempts were also made by Eddie Hope. Eddie Hope's, new approach to rewrite the poem of Andrew Marvell's To His Coy Mistress. Now, Eddie Hope also wrote in a very similar fashion to write the poem from the perspective of the mistress. What exactly the words that mistress had to say. So Eddie Hope has attempted to write from her perspective as well. So we find here, in case of Aga Shahid Ali, quite in the similar way, an attempt to approach the same event from the perspective of the wolf. Now, what did the wolf say? What were the arguments of the wolf? So I am going through the text. First, grant me my sense of history. I did it for posterity, for kindergarten teachers, and a clear moral. Little girls shouldn't wander off in search of strange flowers, and they must not speak to strangers. Now, the opening stanza of Aga Shahid Ali's poem knocks on a very popular condition, a sort of tendency that we all have, and the tendency of reading the history. Now, how do we read history? What is history all about? Now, when you talk of history, I think we should mention the name of E.H. Carr. E.H. Carr wrote a very important text, and the name of the text is What is History? Now, this text not only discusses in detail the different conditions of history, but also it questions, it puts very important question that when you are agreeing with the arguments of the history writer, now you have to ask yourself, why do you agree? Do you have sufficient points, sufficient ways of arguments that you are agree with the writer of the history? Or if you don't agree with him, what exactly is the reason that you are not agreeing with for that particular history writer? Now, history is always in a kind of an approach, a study, a way of reading, looking at a particular event of the time from someone's angle, someone's perspective. Now, any generation, any dynasty, they have always attempted to write the history from their own angle. And it is now very clear to all of us that so many monarchs are there in the history who has attempted to record his own history for the posterity to be identified as something very noble, something very extraordinary, and the king is often, presented as someone who is very generous and always a man of benevolence. But is it exactly so? If the same history had the opportunity to read it out from a different angle, from the perspective of the different, representative of the society, from the part of the commoners, it may get changed totally different. It can have a totally different sort of reading. So history has always a kind of a sense, because we know that Aga Shahid Ali always talks about this sense of history, because he himself is a man, a poet, a thinker, a writer who is always in a kind of a mission to trace the kind of changes taking place in the history. Aga Shahid Ali does so continuously, because as a human being, he has made certain changes. His own experience of exile from Kashmir, then ultimately from India, and then to move for America. So history is always a matter of discussion in the poems of Aga Shahid Ali. Now, before I move to the poem further, I think one very particular poem written by Aga Shahid Ali, this one is, the title is, After Seeing Kozin Seb's King Lear in Delhi, a very different sort of title. After seeing Kozin Seb's King Lear in Delhi, this poem is actually also an instance that records Aga Shahid Ali's optimum love for history, retelling of history, and how his history is conditioned down by ages. Now, the kind of title reference of King Lear, actually Aga Shahid Ali is focused not on King Lear, rather he is focused on the last Mughal emperor, Bahadur Shah Jafar. Now, Bahadur Shah Jafar had a very pathetic ending. In the poem, Aga Shahid Ali focuses how history has been, the real history is ignored. How the colonial history has tried to impose on the exact history of the country. How the history of the powerful dominate the history of the minors. The poem is very, it talks a lot about human sufferings, and Aga Shahid Ali's emotional exchange that he feels in his heart for that poet and emperor Bahadur Shah Jafar. I think of Jafar, poet and emperor, being led through the street by British soldiers, his feet in chains, to watch his sons hanged. In exile, he wrote, unfortunate Jafar spent half his life in hope, the other half waiting. He begs for 2 years of Delhi for burial. He was exiled to Burma, buried in Rangoon. Now, this poem will immediately, quite similar way, it will remind us about Aga Shahid Ali's sense of history in one hand, and how one history is denied by the other. Now, if we come to the poem that is in our discussion today, that will be the topic for discussion, that first, grant me my sense of history. I did it for posterity. So from the perspective of the wolf, we come to know that wolf is so long down the edges in this popular folk tale, folk narrative. The wolf is basically considered someone who is very bad, an evil character. But the wolf is now asking, requesting to rethink, reread its narrative from a different way. So it should be allowed a different sense of history, because it has the sense of history, sense of perspective as well. The wolf thinks that whatever it has done for the posterity, for the next generation. Everything that the wolf has done, it has done deliberately, in a sound mind, in a sound body, and the attempt is for the next generation. For kindergarten teachers, and a clear moral, because the teacher who teaches in the kindergarten level, they will ultimately fix up a moral for in front of them, and that moral will pass on from generation to generation. What is the moral that the wolf would like to establish, that he actually wanted to establish, that the generation, the posterity, upcoming generation will follow them further? And that clear moral was, little girls shouldn't wander off in search of strange flowers. So they should not be too curious. They should be cautious, almost just like a sense of Blakean vision. In William Blake's poem, The Book of Hell, we find a similar note of caution. One shouldn't be always innocent in every aspect. Rather, one should be at the same time innocent and cautious about the upcoming possible problems that one might face. So the wolf here is reminding us all, little girls shouldn't wander off in search of strange flowers. No, they shouldn't think that it's a desolate forest and no one is there to harm anything, and a beautiful strange flower is blooming over there, one can go and pluck it out. And they must not speak to strangers. Okay, so they shouldn't speak to the strangers. Even if the strangers are there with some promising words, with sweet soothing words to convince, they should not be convinced immediately. In the next stanza, we find, and then grant me my generous sense of plot. My dear readers, you never ever thought of my generosity. And what is the generosity that I would like to point out here? And the generosity is a sense of plot. A good story can only be made only when there is a good plot. If the good plot is not properly maintained, if it is not well constructed, it will never be a perfect story. People wouldn't be convinced a story like that. They will never be enchanted by such a poorly made plot. Now, I would like to go back from this serious discussion to a recent movie that was launched in the last Eid in 2021, Radhe. And Radhe was starred by some big stars of Bollywood movie, Salman Khan, Akshay Kumar, and so many others. I am not at all interested about the storyline or the kind of characters, stars. What I am interested more about is Salman Khan's father, who, when it was declared, when it was announced, when it was available on the different media that Radhe is a flop and it couldn't actually win the heart of the audience, then Salman Khan's father made a statement that he doesn't think that for the failure of the film Radhe, his son or the acting capacity of Salman is actually responsible. What does his father think? What does his father think in this context? He thinks that nowadays people are not very much interested to learn, practice good Hindi. People no longer are interested to learn exact Urdu in a similar way. And that's why this lack of practice, lack of interest are the reasons for very poor script, very poor storyline. Until or unless such kind of script writers will be there who are actually interested to make certain big film, then what is necessary? A strong, convincing, very powerful storyline and a very powerful script. And then only the films will be hit in coming days. Now, the sense of plot that the wolf is actually trying to argue from the perspective of the wolf. Now, the wolf is trying to justify his position. This poem is all about wolf's way of justification. Grant me my generous sense of plot. Actually, whatever I did, I wanted to make a generous plot. Couldn't I have gobbled her up? I had all the opportunities to gobble up the little young girl immediately in the forest when I met that girl, Alan. Right there in the jungle. Why did I ask her where her grandma lived? As if I, a forest dweller, didn't know of the cottage under the 3 oak trees. I am a forest dweller. I stay in the forest, so I know it well. What exactly the cottage of that little girl's is. Grandmother's cottage, where is it? I know it well. Still, I asked for the grandmother's cottage. Where is it? I inquired for it. Why did I do so? I actually did so only to heighten the suspense of the story, to make the story more and more powerful, to make the plot more strong, so that the posterity, they will enjoy. They will listen to when a new speaker will tell the story to the posterity. They will listen to the story. And they will be very curious to listen to it. So these things that I did, actually, everything was done from the perspective of making the plot more captivating. I could have done everything as if I couldn't have swallowed her years before. I could have swallowed the grandmother earlier, but I didn't do this. I was waiting for the perfect moment, because the sense of timing that I have, without the proper sense of timing, a plot is nothing. So I have done this to make a very perfect kind of a plot. And in next stanza, and you may call me the big bad wolf. Now, what is there? What kind of nomenclature I have? I am basically considered by society, by the generation, that I am the big bad wolf. Now, my only reputation, this is something that I am basically endowed with. But mark, I was no child molester. Though you will agree, she was pretty. Okay, the girl was very pretty, but don't ever consider me as a child molester. So look how the society, Aga Shahid Ali is actually questioning that we often immediately come to a decision whenever we see or face a particular kind of man who belong to a particular kind of culture, society, he must be bad. So such kind of immediate decision making is something that should not be there. We should, take time. We should rethink, and then only we can come to the conclusion that whether such kind of analysis which are done on the spur of the moment, whether these are really justified or those are unjustified. So this statement on the part of the wolf that he was not a child molester is also a kind of a cautionary note for everyone not to come for a hasty decision that you often make only because of the outer appearance of the person, or because of kind of a particular culture, or a kind of a group of people that he is representing. We come to the last stanza of the poem. And the huntsman was I sleeping while he sniped my thick black fur and filled me with garbage and stones. I ran with that weight and fell down, simply so children could laugh. So once again, on the part of the process of justification of the wolf, that when the hunter sniped the belly and stuffed inside the belly of the wolf with garbage, with stones and pebbles, so was he sleeping? He could have done something else, ran away from there. But now the wolf is saying that he did so only because in the posterity, so that children can only laugh, they can enjoy a tale, they can enjoy a particular storyline, a particular plot. It is to make them laugh. That was something in his mind. That was something that provoked the wolf to be a victim of generation, of society, of culture, of making a plot like this. Simply so children could laugh at the noise of the stones cutting through my belly, at the garbage spilling out, a perfect sense of timing, just when the tale should have come to an end. So This is once again the sense of timing that the wolf would like to highlight, a sense of humor that the wolf really had, a sense of history that the wolf really had, and also a sense of plot. So on the part of the wolf, it had so many other possibilities, so many options that the wolf could do, but the wolf didn't do so. Rather, it was a kind of a new way of making us think that the wolf had something else in mind, a different sort of approach, so that people can enjoy the story. People have a very good plot to follow for the coming generations, for the children of the coming generations, and they can enjoy everything in their own particular way. Aga Shahid Ali, in this brilliant poem, actually has attempted to make us think that history has multiple ways of reading. So one way of reading the history is only a kind of a notion that is very limited, and that is very narrowed down a process, and that should not be. Rather, exact truth of history can come out only when it will be read from different angles, different approaches. So that's all I had to say regarding this poem. Thank you so much.